We are gathered here in New York City at NBC in Studio 6A, where in just a moment, Conan O'Brien, the host of Late Night with Conan O'Brien, will enter the studio and deliver his State of the Show address to various members of his staff, the studio audience, and a national television audience watching at home. There, of course, is bandleader Max Weinberg with the show's announcer Joel Goddard, both of whom have been with the show since the very beginning. And here comes Jeff Ross, the show's producer, entering the studio. And Mr. Ross is followed by Bernard Evans, Conan's personal trainer. And now, of course, here is Steve Fromm, the guy who actually does the exercises with Conan's personal trainer, due to the fact Conan has little or no muscle strength. And we've just been told Conan O'Brien is about to be introduced. There is John Cullen, the late-night Sergeant-at-Arms. Let's listen in.
Ladies and gentlemen, the host of the show.
And there he is, Conan Christopher O'Brien. Acknowledging his fans, he wants them to know how much they mean to him. He is always very gracious and accessible, trying to meet each and every fan, shake their hand, make a human connection before moving on. There Conan is greeting a young woman, moving on to someone else in the audience. Now, for some reason, returning to the same young woman for a quick hello before moving on. Conan lingering now, talking unusually long with this woman. Conan security now protecting the woman from Conan. Conan continuing to greet the audience, and he is now making his way toward the floor. A new best friend for Conan. No respect for personal space as usual. And there is the Max Weinberg 7. Conan greeting the band, shaking hands, them cheering him on, and he is making his way towards his most trusted characters. Of course, there's the masturbating bear, one of Conan's oldest and dearest friends. Very loyal. And there is Eyeballs O'Shaughnessy. He certainly looks very excited to see Conan. It looks like Conan is telling Eyeballs what to expect in tonight's speech, going over the details. Eyeballs losing interest quickly, very bored. Conan clearly getting the message, wisely deciding to move on. There is Tablis, the mythical half-man, half-table. The man half must have spent a great deal of time polishing his table half for this event. And finally, vomiting Kermit. Due to the unprecedented security of tonight's event, vomiting Kermit has been placed inside a lucite box. That is why. All right. Kermit in his box. Conan making his way to the podium. Let's hear what he has to say.
Thank you. Thank you all very much. Let me begin by saying that because tonight I'm giving the State of the Show address, I will not be doing my usual monologue this evening. You bastards. Ladies and gentlemen, before I go any further, I'd like to thank two great Americans who are with us in the audience this evening, Steve Lamont and Dana Caldwell. Let me tell you about Steve and Dana. They did not serve in Iraq. They have never performed any kind of community service. They've never done anything heroic at all. But they do love to make out in public. And if there's one thing I love, it's watching young, attractive people make out. Pretty sweet, eh, eyeballs? Yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, there is much good news tonight. Just this past weekend, the people of Iraq participated in their first open election in 50 years. They have tasted American-style democracy. Well, now it's time for them to taste American-style comedy. That is why in 2005, I will give the people of Iraq the greatest comedy gift of all, Michael Jackson. In fact, I'm giving them their very own Iraqi Jacko. Ladies and gentlemen, meet Iraqo. And it gets better. Ladies and gentlemen, in 2004, we did over 270 Paris Hilton jokes. But in 2005, we vowed to triple that number with our new initiative, the No Paris Hilton Joke Left Behind program. That's right. I'll be flooding the air with Paris Hilton jokes regardless of their quality. Jokes like this one. Paris Hilton says she's looking forward to watching this year's Super Bowl. Paris says, I know what it's like to have hundreds of people in your end zone. In 2005, you can expect more razor-sharp political wit and satire, and a lot less silly, arbitrary humor that makes no sense. Isn't that right, Fidel Castro Rabbit DJ? In the coming year, Late Night will do more than just make you laugh. We will expand your mind by uncovering some of the universe's great mysteries. Mysteries like what Joan Rivers looks like without makeup. Behold! ...2004 was a divisive year for America. In 2005, I pledged to do everything I can to heal the nation's wounds by reaching out to the so-called red states. To help me achieve this goal, I have enlisted the aid of the red states' most beloved figure, gun-toting NASCAR Jesus. That's right, he's towed by a rope. Yes, Late Night will strive for greatness in the coming year, and that push starts tonight as I welcome my guest, NBC Nightly News anchor, Brian Williams. Legendary recording artist, Jimmy Buffett. And musical guest, Maroon 5. That's right, I promise with work and determination we can pull together and make this the best late night show ever. Thank you.
And that's it. A masterful speech, one people will be talking about for days, maybe weeks to come. Conan O'Brien has certainly set a strong tone for the upcoming year at Late Night. And now, let's go live to Washington, D.C. for a rebuttal. And here's the rebuttal to the host's address presented by the distinguished senator from Arizona, John McCain.
My fellow Americans, Conan bites. Good night.
And that was the rebuttal from Senator John McCain. Late Night, we'll be right back with the anchor of NBC Nightly News, Brian Williams.